Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Hakodash. Double honor to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Peace, love, salutations, and blessings to the house of David, which is the elect. And I just want to touch on this article here coming from Bloomberg entitled Singapore to Q-Tine, Close Contacts of Newer mpox strand cases. So once again, we're back. We're back to the past, right? Or back to the future, however you want to say it, of 2020. Okay, in 2020, 2021, you have the new V that is taking the headlines, causing certain NGO organizations to declare international public health emergency. Numerous of different countries have said that they've spotted different cases. And now you have here in Singapore, they are implementing a Q-Tine, right? For anybody that comes in close contact with somebody that has the new or the newer mpox strand. So let's read this, and then we'll just touch on it. All right, just want to bring this out because back in 2020 when they were saying these things, they built these back with the the CV. A lot of different countries built these Q camps, right? But some countries used them, but a lot of countries didn't, right? Even here in America, excuse me, you had a certain Q camps that were built, but you didn't really hear much about them being actually used. But we know that these are part of the plan of these devils to send certain individuals to these places, right? Individuals who are not compliant, all right? Individuals who don't, ultimately don't want to get down with that new system that they have, said that they want to, implement, right? The Great Reset. So let's read this. It says Singapore will mandate a 3-week Q-Tine at a designated facility if close contacts of patients infected with the new mpox strand are identified, as the city-state reintroduces CV error curbs in a bid to prevent local spread of a mutated V. Okay, so they're not allowing you to Q-Tine at your house, right? Which a lot of countries during the CV, that's what they that's what they told people to do, right? To Q-Tine, isolate yourself at your house. But with this new mpox, they're saying that no, we're going to have you at a designated facility, right? And in this article, I believe they called it a governmental designated facility. Let's read it. Should be okay. Yes, in this paragraph, it says the health ministry will begin contact tracing once an infection with the more dangerous clad mpox strand is confirmed. In the cases, close contacts will be placed in a designated government facility for 21 days, which is the incubation period observed in Africa, according to a statement Wednesday. So this is whether or not you want, right? This is against your will, right? This isn't something that you can, opt out in, right? This isn't voluntary, over there in Singapore. This is an involuntary Q-Tine, right, at a designated government facility, okay, for 3 weeks. All right, that's a long time to be away from, your family, be away from your day-to-day life, okay, being in a uncomfortable foreign environment that is being monitored by the government. You see? So like how, we, through the spirit, we was warning about these things happening during the CV, right? And a lot of those things weren't fully implemented, but the Lord had it to where we gave the warning about these things, right? And letting the sheep know, the congregation know that, hey, these devils have these certain facilities and certain plans and agendas that they ultimately are going to bring to pass, because it is prophecy. All right. And now we're in a time where there is a multiple various different type of V's that are out here, but this one in particular is one that they are saying is spreading throughout the world, and it's becoming more and more fatal, right? So they already set the stage to where this is something that must be attacked, right? This is something that must be dealt with, and this is how they have deemed it necessary for it to be dealt with, right? Anybody that come in close contact. So even if you don't have it, even if you don't have symptoms, even if you don't, have any type of reason to believe other than the fact that you've come in close contact with somebody, they're going to place you in a designated government facility. Reading on, it says the city state hasn't yet detected the more lethal clad eye strand that prompted the HUDAT in mid-August to declare the mpox a global public health emergency. And all 14 mpox cases found in Singapore so far this year were caused by the milder IIB variant. See, so this newer strand, they don't even have it, right? They haven't even detected it in Singapore yet. They already have came out with, this plan to isolate, right, individuals who come in close contact, with somebody that may have it, for 21 days. And we know that I'm not sure if it was Singapore. I know it was somewhere over there in that region back in 2020, 2021, where you had a various different, MPs and PMs, officials, stating that, this is the end, the new to the world, to the order, right? So they were saying that, and they took a lot of those videos down, right? A lot of brothers' videos got striked and channels got taken down, once that information started to come out, because, through the spirit, the Lord had us bring those things out. We was on it, right? And a lot of people, right? Not even, the prophets, but you had a lot of so-called whistleblowers, doctors, people that were coming out and stating the things that they were doing during that time was, fishy business. And a lot of these social media platforms, took those that information off of the air. And then that's when they came out with this whole war against mis and disinformation and censorship and yada, yada, yada. So as we see these plagues continue to increase, and we have this this new, mpox, strand out here, don't be surprised if they even clamp down even harder than they did, with the CV when it comes to the information that is being brought out. Okay, and we know ultimately these things are written, right? The plagues, the pestilences, all these things are a part of the the wrath and the plagues and the judgments that Yahweh Bashim Yahushai has said that he's going to bring upon the earth in these latter days. Okay, so reading on, it says Singapore is among a handful of countries. Singapore is among a handful of countries in the Asian Pacific region that successfully stamped out local transmission of the CV that caused the CV, with aggressive curbs, including Q-Tines and relentless contact tracing. The intense response afforded the country a semblance of normalcy early in the emic, before the V evolved to become more infectious, rendering such measures less effective. To assure the public the mpox response won't go as far, Health Minister Ong Ye Kong said the city-state shouldn't resort to, quote, draconian and very disruptive measures. So he is saying, or she, whatever, is saying that they shouldn't resort to draconian measures, but yet QTing somebody in a government facility for 21 days because they were deemed a close contact, that sounds very draconian to me, especially if it's not voluntary, if it's not a voluntary separation. So it says, like the ones imposed in the CV, broadcaster CNA reported, no countries are doing that now. And that's the key. The key word there is now. Because once again, a lot of these, majority of these countries are a part of, the WEF, right? They subscribe to the recommendations of the WHODAD and C to the D to the C to the D, So when these NGOs, make these suggestions and say that this is what needs to be done, these countries fall in line because the officials or the government officials and the leaders of these countries are bought and paid for. Okay, they're all a part of, this secret. I can't even say that, but they're all part of it, right? You gotta watch your words here. And I'm just reading the news here. Okay, I'm not giving any medical advice. Okay, I'm just reading what is happening over here in Singapore. So it says, we think this is likely to be a troublesome V that we can manage. See that? So they think it's going to be a troublesome V that we can manage. And once again, this is how they lull people to sleep, because they say this is troublesome. They state that they're going to, Q-Team people for 21 days in a government facility. So if this is something you can manage, why do you need to take all of these drastic steps? Okay, why did the WHODAD have to declare it a public national, public health emergency? All right, that is the speaking, on both sides of your lips. All right, or how that saying goes. Double talk. It says it will very likely lead to the kind of disruption that happened during the CV. Okay, we'll see. And if it is not the mpox, then it's going to be something different, right? They already spoke about the dis-ease X that is definitely going to happen. And once again, this is all biblical prophecy that must unfold. All right. There must be, pestilences. There must be famines. There must be plagues. You see, because Yahweh Bashim Shai has ordained it. And as the scripture says, his word does not come back to him void. So I'll just read this last paragraph. It says Singapore has already started screening inbound travelers and crew arriving from places at risk of an outbreak. Mask wearing isn't recommended for people who are well, but the ministry will consider the measure if there is evidence of significant respiratory transmission. So now the mpox, right? It started. It first was something that can only be transmitted through, contact through I can't even call that SEX, but it was only being transmitted amongst a certain type of demographic population. Okay, basically sodomites, and then it started to be transmitted right? Through, skin to skin contact. But now they're saying that there could be possible evidence, right? There could be a possibility that it can be transmitted through respiratory transmission, which is basically through breathing, right? Through your mouth. So if that becomes the case, and you've seen pictures of how that thing looks, this is not something that's going to be good. And like they were saying, this newer strand is a lot more deadlier as well. Okay, so we're going to continue to see what happens, right? And as the days continue, how the Lord continues to bring judgment, right? Because we're in a time of Yahweh Bashem Yahushai's judgment upon the earth. So let's get one or two scriptures and we'll close it out here. This is the book of Psalms, chapter 119, verse 126. And it reads, "It is time for thee, Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, to work, for they have made void thy law." All right. And this is what the Lord's working is to do, right? His work is to it says what? To act with effect. Okay. Hey, and the scripture tells us in the book of Ezekiel that what? That the effect of every vision is now at hand. You see, for a long time, okay, a lot of people would scoff at the words of the Lord. They would scoff at the prophets that would warn of these times that we're in. All right, because when we were warning of these times, these things weren't actually taking place. And that's why it says in Ezekiel 12, the Lord was going to cause that proverb to cease, right? This is Ezekiel 12, verse 21. "And the word of the Lord came unto me, saying, Son of man, what is that proverb that ye have in the land of Israel, saying, the days are prolonged and every vision faileth? Tell them, therefore, thus saith Yahweh power, I will make that proverb to cease." And how is the Lord making that proverb to cease? All right, because the prophets, when they speak, they're not speaking of their own will. They're speaking being moved by the Holy Spirit, right? The Lord is putting it in their mouths to say these things. But then when the people hear them and they say that what you're seeing is failing, right? Let's go into a different translation. It says, "Mortal man," he said, "why do the people of Israel repeat this proverb? Time goes by and predictions come to nothing," right? It says time in the NLT says time passes and prophecies come to nothing. See? So the Lord said what? "Tell them, therefore, I will make this proverb to cease." So the Lord is going to make people stop saying that time goes by and prophecies come to nothing. And how is he going to do that? By bringing the prophecies to pass right here. It says, "Now tell them what I, the sovereign Lord, have said about that. I will put an end to that proverb, and it won't be repeated in Israel anymore. Tell them instead, the time has come and the predictions are coming true." All right. In the NLT, it says, "I will put an end to this proverb, and you will stop quoting it. Now give them this new proverb to replace the old one. The time has come for every prophecy to be fulfilled." You see? And that is the time that we're in, where the prophecies, the visions, all right, that are written of the end are being fulfilled. As it says in the book of Habakkuk, "For in the end it shall speak and not lie." Okay. So we know that with these governmental, I keep saying governmental, these government facilities, right? These are things that are going to be used by this devil to, instill more fear into people, right? And they may keep people in there longer than 21 days and tell them that, look, in order to, come out of here, we need to be able to contact trace you 24/7. And then the only way to do that is, we have to put this, MOTB in you. Okay. And, brothers have had dreams of, being in these type of facilities and these devils using certain type of torture methods, right? Fear tactics to get people, me, because I was the one who had the dream, to try to get me to take the MOTB. But, wait, the word of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, help me down. Okay, because that is what we're going to need in those times where we get thrown into concentration camps or prisons, or, in a position to where we're in a position of difficulty. You got to remember the scriptures, man. You got to remember the word of the Lord. And in that dream, which I've done a video on it. It was years ago. I had a dream. But certain dreams are very, vivid, right? And very detailed to where you can remember them years later. All right. And in that dream, I remember just, saying certain scriptures. I believe it was, if I'm not mistaken, I want to say it was Revelation 2:10. I was saying in my head, right, while they were trying to, torture me, and I wasn't feeling any of the pain. Okay. But nonetheless, we're going to see what happens with this and see if other countries start to, do similar things. Because like I said, these NGOs like the WEF, they're the ones that's ultimately, and it's really the central bankers, the rulers of this world. They're the ones that are pushing society into this direction, using these various different countries and the officials of the governments of these countries to do these things. So we'll see as these plagues continue. All right, because the plagues are going to continue. Right. 2nd Ezra 16 verse 37. Behold, the plagues draw nigh and are not slacked. All right. That's, plain and simple. The plagues draw nigh and are not slacked. So, with that, Lord willing, is edifying unto the elect, giving all praises to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahushai, Ba'ashim Rakak Wadash. Shalom.